Have you ever stopped to think about the rituals that define your day? For so many of us, it's the simple act of stepping into a warm shower, a habit so deeply ingrained we perform it on autopilot. It feels like the very definition of starting the day fresh and clean. But what if that comforting daily ritual, the one you've trusted for decades, is no longer serving you? What if, after the age of 60, the very thing you do to feel clean is quietly opening the door to a host of health issues? It's a strange thought, isn't it? The truth is, your body's needs have changed, and the science of healthy aging is telling us we need to listen closely. This isn't about being less hygienic, it's about being smarter with our self-care. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the videos and subscribe to the channel, but only if you really like what I'm doing here. I'd love to know where you're watching from and what time it is in your part of the world. So drop a comment below. Now, let's explore the first, and perhaps most immediate, health effect you need to be aware of when it comes to your daily bathing routine: the stripping of natural oils and the risk of dermatitis. Let's start with the most visible part of your body, your skin. As you journey past 60, you've likely noticed your skin doesn't have the same plump, resilient quality it once did. It becomes naturally thinner, and the oil glands that once worked overtime to keep it moisturized slow down significantly. This natural oil, known as sebum, is your body's first line of defense, a waterproof, protective barrier that keeps moisture in and irritants out. Now, imagine what happens when you introduce a long, hot shower into this delicate equation every single day. The hot water, combined with traditional soaps that are often alkaline and full of fragrances, acts like a solvent, stripping away that precious oily layer. You step out feeling clean, but what you've actually done is compromised your skin's natural armor. At first, you might just notice a feeling of tightness or a light, flaky texture on your shins and arms, but with repeated exposure, this escalates. The skin becomes chronically dry, leading to a condition doctors call steatotic eczema, or winter itch, though it can happen year-round. This isn't just a minor annoyance, it's a constant, maddening itch that can disrupt sleep and dominate your waking hours. More dangerously, this excessively dry skin develops tiny cracks and fissures, creating perfect entry points for bacteria, which can lead to serious skin infections like cellulitis. I remember a client of mine, Eleanor, a wonderfully sharp woman of 78, who took immense pride in her daily routine. A hot bath every evening was her sacred ritual, a time to unwind. But for months, she had been battling an unbearable itch on her lower legs and back. She changed her laundry detergent, bought new bed sheets, and even suspected a food allergy. Nothing worked. During a checkup, her doctor asked about her bathing habits. When she described her nightly soak in very hot water, the doctor immediately identified the culprit. It took some convincing, but Eleanor agreed to a new plan: bathing just 3 times a week in lukewarm water and, crucially, slathering on a thick, unscented moisturizer while her skin was still damp. Within 2 weeks, the transformation was remarkable. The relentless itching stopped. The red, irritated patches faded, and for the first time in months, she felt comfortable in her own skin. She learned that true self-care wasn't about sticking to a lifelong habit, but adapting to what her body needed now. Doctors still believe that for most people over 60, reducing full-body showers to a few times a week is one of the best things you can do for your skin. When you do bathe, think of it as a strategic mission. Use gentle, pH-balanced cleansers only where needed: underarms, groin, and feet, and let the warm water rinse the rest. And always moisturize immediately afterward. This simple shift can prevent a cascade of discomfort and protect you from unnecessary infections, weakening the skin's microbiome and immune response. Beyond just stripping away the physical barrier of oils, that frequent, hot shower is waging an invisible war on a living, breathing ecosystem that resides on your skin. You see, your skin is not just a sterile surface. It's home to trillions of microorganisms, a diverse community of bacteria, fungi, and viruses known as the skin microbiome. For years, we were taught to fear all germs, to scrub them away relentlessly. But science now understands that the vast majority of these microscopic residents are not only harmless, but are, in fact, essential guardians of your health. This microbiome is a critical part of your immune system. It acts like a well-trained militia, protecting its territory by outcompeting invading pathogens for resources and producing antimicrobial substances that kill off harmful bacteria. When you shower too often, especially with harsh, antibacterial soaps, you don't just wash away dirt, you carpet bomb this entire beneficial ecosystem. This leaves your skin's defenses in disarray, creating a vacuum that more aggressive, harmful microbes are all too happy to fill. For a younger person, this ecosystem might bounce back quickly. But as you get older, your immune system is already less responsive, and the skin's ability to repopulate these good bacteria slows down. This creates a state of chronic vulnerability you may not even be aware of, where minor skin issues can suddenly become much more serious. Think of a gentleman I once knew named Robert, a 75-year-old retired accountant who was the epitome of meticulous. He believed strongly in hygiene and used a popular antibacterial body wash every morning, convinced he was doing the best thing for his health. Yet, he was plagued by persistent issues, a stubborn case of athlete's foot that kept returning and small, inflamed rashes that would pop up on his torso. He couldn't understand it. He was so careful about being clean. His dermatologist finally connected the dots. She explained that his aggressive cleaning routine was destroying his skin's natural defenders, allowing opportunistic fungi and bacteria to thrive. He was skeptical, but he agreed to try an experiment. He switched to showering every other day, using only a mild, soap-free cleanser on his underarms and feet, and rinsing the rest of his body with lukewarm water. He ditched the antibacterial soap entirely. The result was profound. Within a month, his athlete's foot cleared up for good, and the mysterious rashes disappeared. He learned a powerful lesson. Being truly clean meant fostering balance, not achieving sterility. Doctors still believe that preserving your skin's microbiome is one of the most underrated aspects of senior health. They advise that unless you have a specific medical reason, you should avoid antibacterial soaps for general use. Your body's built-in defense system is far more sophisticated than any product you can buy. By bathing less frequently, you give this system the time it needs to stay strong, balanced, and ready to protect you. It's a simple act of conservation that pays huge dividends for your overall immunity. The hidden danger of slips and cardiovascular strain. Now, let's pivot from the microscopic effects on your skin to a much more immediate and physical threat: the bathroom itself. As you know, with age comes changes in balance, bone density, and reaction time. This transforms the bathroom, especially the shower, into one of the most hazardous places in your home. The combination of wet surfaces, hard porcelain, and the simple act of stepping over a tub ledge creates a high-stakes environment. But the risk is compounded by a physiological event that happens during a hot shower, one that most people are completely unaware of. When you immerse your body in hot water, your blood vessels dilate, or widen, to release heat. This is a natural response, but it causes a temporary and sometimes significant drop in your blood pressure. For someone in their 30s, This might go unnoticed, but for a person over 60, especially if you already have cardiovascular concerns or take blood pressure medication, this sudden drop can lead to lightheadedness, dizziness, or even a brief fainting spell. Now, imagine that wave of dizziness washing over you while you're standing on a slippery, wet surface. It's a terrifyingly perfect recipe for a fall, and a fall at this stage of life can be a life-altering event, leading to broken hips, head injuries, and a sudden loss of independence. I worked with a woman named Maria, 81 years old, who was fiercely independent and lived alone. Her morning shower was non-negotiable, but she started mentioning to her daughter that she'd occasionally feel woozy after turning off the water and would have to sit on the edge of the tub for a moment to steady herself. She dismissed it as just a part of getting older. One morning, that wooziness hit harder and faster. She reached for a towel, felt the room spin, and stumbled. By pure luck, she fell against the wall and slid to the floor instead of hitting the tub. She wasn't seriously injured, but she was deeply shaken. The incident was a wake-up call. Her doctor explained the concept of orthostatic hypotension triggered by the hot shower and laid out a new plan. Reducing showers to 3 times a week immediately cut her exposure to this risk by more than half. He insisted on installing grab bars and a shower chair, which she initially resisted, feeling they were for old people. But she soon realized that these tools weren't a sign of weakness. They were instruments of power that allowed her to maintain control over her safety. Doctors still believe that creating a safer bathing environment is paramount. This goes beyond just reducing shower frequency. It means using lukewarm water to prevent drastic blood pressure shifts. It means having non-slip mats both inside and outside the tub and ensuring the bathroom is well lit. Rethinking how often you step into that potentially hazardous space isn't giving in. It's a strategic move to protect your body and preserve the independent lifestyle you cherish. Aggravating underlying health conditions. While we've discussed the immediate risks, like falls and skin irritation, it's crucial to understand how an excessive bathing routine can quietly aggravate chronic health conditions you may already be managing. Your body after 60 is a finely tuned system, and what seems like a harmless daily habit can place unexpected stress on it, making underlying issues worse. Take, for example, heart conditions. Remember how a hot shower causes your blood vessels to dilate and your blood pressure to drop. In response, your heart has to work harder and beat faster to circulate blood effectively and maintain equilibrium. For a healthy heart, this is a minor workout, but if you are managing a condition like congestive heart failure or arrhythmia, this extra demand can be a significant strain, potentially leading to fatigue, shortness of breath, or even triggering an episode. Similarly, if you live with diabetes, your skin requires special attention. Diabetes can lead to poor circulation and nerve damage, especially in the feet, a condition known as neuropathy. This means you might not accurately feel the temperature of the water, putting you at high risk for burns. More importantly, frequent washing strips the skin of oils, making it dry and prone to cracking. For a person with diabetes, a tiny, unnoticed crack in the skin of the foot is not a small problem. It's a dangerous invitation for infection that can be incredibly difficult to heal and can escalate into a serious diabetic foot ulcer. I think of a gentleman named David, a 72-year-old with well-managed type 2 diabetes. He cherished his long, hot showers each morning, believing they helped ease the stiffness in his joints. He was diligent about his health, but he couldn't figure out why the skin on his shins was always so flaky and why a small sore on the side of his foot simply refused to heal. It wasn't painful, so he didn't pay it much mind. It was his podiatrist who finally raised the alarm. She explained that his daily hot showers were severely drying out his skin, making it fragile. He was likely scratching it in his sleep, creating micro-tears. The non-healing sore was a direct result of this compromised skin barrier combined with poor circulation. She told him, in no uncertain terms, that his shower habit was putting him on a dangerous path. David's routine was completely overhauled. Showers were cut to every other day. The water temperature was turned down to lukewarm, and he was instructed to meticulously dry his feet and apply a special moisturizer afterward. The change was remarkable. His skin became healthier, and with proper care, the foot sore finally began to close. Doctors still believe that your bathing routine must be viewed as an integral part of managing any chronic illness. It's not a separate activity. It's a factor that can either support or undermine your health. If you have a condition affecting your heart, circulation, or nervous system, have a specific conversation with your doctor about it. Ask them, what is the safest way for me to bathe? This simple question can prevent a cascade of complications, turning your daily routine from a potential liability into a safe and supportive practice. Depletion of physical energy and increased fatigue. Beyond the risks you can see and the conditions you can measure, there is a more subtle but equally important effect of showering too frequently. The steady depletion of your physical energy. As we age, our bodies naturally have smaller energy reserves. We don't bounce back from exertion the way we used to, and it becomes essential to be mindful of where we spend our precious energy throughout the day. You might think of a shower as a relaxing, restorative activity, but from a physiological standpoint, a hot shower can be surprisingly demanding. When you immerse yourself in hot water, your body's internal thermostat kicks into high gear. It has to work hard to regulate your core temperature and prevent overheating. Your heart rate increases, your metabolism revs up, and once you step out of the heat, your body engages in a cool-down process that is anything but passive. This effort, this act of thermoregulation, consumes a significant amount of energy. For a younger person, this expenditure is trivial, but for someone over 60, spending that much energy on a single, non-essential activity every single day can lead to a pervasive sense of fatigue that you might mistakenly attribute to just old age or a poor night's sleep. It can leave you feeling drained before your day has even truly begun, robbing you of the vitality you need for more meaningful activities. I remember a conversation with a gentleman named Arthur, a vibrant 80-year-old who loved to work in his garden. He complained that by late morning, he felt completely wiped out, with no energy left for his beloved roses. He was frustrated because he was getting a full 8 hours of sleep and eating well. We went through his daily routine, and it turned out he started every single day with a 20-minute, steaming hot shower. He said it was the only way he could loosen up his stiff joints. I explained to him that while it felt good in the moment, that long, hot shower was like running a short sprint. His body was spending a huge chunk of its morning energy just dealing with the heat. He was starting his day in an energy deficit. He was very reluctant to change, but he agreed to try an experiment for 1 week. He would take a much shorter, lukewarm shower instead. The difference stunned him. By the end of the week, he reported having enough energy to spend a full 2 hours in his garden each morning without feeling exhausted. He realized the stiffness he felt was better addressed with gentle stretching, and the energy he saved was far more valuable than the fleeting comfort of the hot water. Doctors still believe that managing your energy is just as important as managing your diet or your medications. They encourage you to think of your daily energy as a bank account. A long, hot shower is a major withdrawal. If you find yourself consistently tired, look at your bathing routine. A shorter, cooler shower can be a simple, powerful way to conserve your energy, leaving you with more stamina and zest for the people and passions that truly bring you joy. The psychological toll of an unbalanced routine. Finally, we need to talk about the psychological side of your bathing routine, which is arguably the most complex. A shower isn't just a physical act, it's a deeply ingrained ritual. For many people, especially as they get older and daily structures like work or raising a family fall away, these small personal rituals become the very framework of the day. They provide predictability, a sense of control, and a moment of private solitude. But this is where it gets tricky, because a sudden or extreme shift in this ritual can often be a quiet signal of emotional distress. On one end of the spectrum, some seniors begin to overbathe, taking multiple showers a day. This is rarely about hygiene. More often, it's a coping mechanism. When life feels chaotic or lonely, the controlled, predictable environment of a shower can feel like a sanctuary. It's a way to fill the quiet hours, a distraction from anxious thoughts, or a tangible task to complete when the day feels empty and purposeless. On the other end, a person might begin to avoid bathing altogether. This is frequently a red flag for depression or apathy. When you lose emotional energy, the motivation to perform even basic self-care tasks can disappear. The effort just feels too great. Both of these extremes, compulsive showering and neglect, are signs that something deeper is going on. I'm reminded of a woman, Brenda, aged 76. After her husband of 50 years passed away, her world became silent and unstructured. She told her daughter that she started taking 2, sometimes 3, long showers a day simply because the sound of the water was less lonely than the silence of the house. It was something to do, but over time, her skin became horribly irritated, and she felt perpetually exhausted, which only deepened her sense of melancholy. Her daughter, recognizing this was more than just a skin problem, gently helped her find a grief support group for seniors. By connecting with others who understood her loss, Brenda began to build a new structure for her days. She started a morning walking club and joined a book group, as she found healthier ways to fill her time and process her grief. Her bathing habits naturally rebalanced. The compulsive need for the shower faded away. Doctors still believe that your hygiene routine is a powerful barometer of your overall well-being. It should be an act of care that lifts you up, not a behavior that masks deeper feelings or reflects a loss of hope. A balanced schedule of showering 2 or 3 times a week supports both your physical health and a stable, positive mindset. If you recognize that your shower has become either an escape or a burden, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself. That awareness is the first and most important step. Talk to a family member, a trusted friend, or your doctor. You deserve to feel peace, both inside and out. As we bring our time together to a close, let's just pause for a moment. The information we've walked through today isn't about creating a new set of rigid rules for you to follow. In fact, it's about the very opposite. It's about giving you the freedom to let go of old, outdated beliefs about what it means to be clean and healthy, and instead, empowering you to listen more closely to the unique and changing wisdom of your own body. This chapter of your life is not about following someone else's script, it's about honoring your own. It's a time for adapting with grace, for understanding that true self-care isn't about doing more, but about doing what is right for you, right now. So, if your skin feels tight and itchy, perhaps it's asking for less time under the water and more time with a good moisturizer. If you feel dizzy or tired after you bathe, maybe your body is telling you that a cooler, shorter shower is a kinder choice. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of profound self-awareness. You are not just surviving this stage of life, you are learning, evolving, and discovering new and better ways to care for the one body you have. Every conscious adjustment you make, no matter how small it seems, is an act of deep respect for yourself and a powerful declaration of your intention to live with vitality and independence for as long as possible. You are in control, and that is a beautiful thing. Thanks for watching the video. If you find it interesting, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like or leave a comment if you have any suggestions. Wish you good health.